There are a couple built-in variables that we can take advantage of. We've already seen some of these. Last week, I showed you how you could use mouseX and mouseY to determine where your mouse was located inside of your sketch. So those are things that change over time, right? And so those are variables. So they're just built in, right? So you don't have to do anything. They're freebies. So here, this sketch right here, you can see I'm using it to determine the position of this circle. So I'm saying the mouse X and mouse Y corresponds to where the X and Y location is of the circle, right? So if we go into my sketch here, we can see that, you know, the circle just follows the mouse around, right? So this is like a nice little thing, and you can turn this really quickly into a simple drawing tool. We've got our background right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the function line, and line takes 4 arguments, right? It takes x1, y1, x2, y2. So where does the line start? Where does the line end? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the line's current location is going to be mouse X, mouse Y, and then the place where it's going to start from, like its origin, right, is going to be the mouse's previous location from the frame before, right? So we've got p mouse X, p mouse Y, and so p mouse X, p mouse Y. It's not like an incontinent rodent. It's something that has it's a variable that remembers what was happening in the previous draw loop, right? So this is the current location of the mouse. This is the previous location of the mouse the last time it went through the draw loop, right? So I'm going to save this, and I'm going to come back here, and now we can see we've got this little like tail chasing it around, and if I move more quickly, that tail grows longer. So if I come back here and I get rid of the background, so I'm no longer erasing things, right? It retains whatever is there, and I leave this, now I've got a nice drawing tool, right? And if I wanted to do something like really weird, I could say, stroke. We can change the color of the stroke based off of. We'll just copy these, right? There we go. This isn't actually going to work. Now that I think of this, what I'll do is I'll take the XY. I'll take the x-axis and the current mouse position minus the previous mouse position, and I'll turn this into. So I'm going to use this math function abs. So this gives me the absolute difference. So if I wind up with a negative number, it'll still just give me it'll give me a whole number. So here, if I, or a positive number. So now if I move this around, oh, it's not the color. Wait, there we go. Huh, I am missing I was missing a parentheses. There we go. Sorry about that. So here you can see if I move it slowly along the x-axis, it's thin, but then if I make a big line like that, then all of a sudden it becomes a really sort of like large and chunky line, right? And that doesn't really have the same thing on the y-axis, but if I wanted to, here's where I could take the y, right? So I could say stroke absolute value of the difference between mouse y minus p mouse y, right? And then we're going to want to do one other thing here. We can use a value called constrain, or a function called constrain, which will give us a value. So if we, were to like really jerk the mouse around fast, it might go more than 255 pixels. And then we'd get like something really weird and unexpected. So what we can do is we can constrain these values between, 0 to 255. So we make sure that we don't go out of bounds with this, right? So the way that this works is we've got the method constrain, and then the value that we want to, that we're going to be checking, right? And so that's this, and then the floor, which is 0, and the max, which is 255, right? So now if I save this, and it's not the stroke weight, it's just the stroke. There we go. So you can see now there's these various, the bigger it is, it comes out lighter, right? And we've got this, now we've got like a dynamic way of drawing things on screen. That's a little bit different than just sort of like, oh, I'm drawing a line. You can still just draw a line if you like. But if you want to make big movements like this, you can get all sorts of weird shit going on. So yeah, so those are mouseX and Y, and some ways that you can use variables really quickly. You don't have to like just use mouseX and Y for this sort of stuff. You can use any sort of variables to change these things up. Play around with it, see what works and what doesn't for you.